What's going on, guys? I'm JustJamie and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a game that came on Steam's early access, and this is Scooter Flow. There are similar games out there like Pipe, Scoot, Skater XL that kind of match this style, and today I'm going to be reviewing it and giving you my thoughts and opinion on the game. So if you're excited for this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe as well, and let's get on with the review. And before I do anything, I just want to remind you, this game is in early access. So nothing is final, nothing's even close to being done, but this is kind of a little demo or a kind of a preview on what he has planned for the future, which is really exciting. So as soon as you open the game, you're greeted with the starter menu. Now on the menu, it's very well laid out, it's quite simple. You have access to the controls, so what the controls do. The settings, so you can change the graphic settings, so you can have it for a lower end computer, you can raise it all the way up to a higher end. It works pretty well, it's quite simple, it's quite straightforward. You then have 3 different maps, and you have the scooter customization option. Like I said, there are 3 different maps, and for an early access game, that's really good. Like, when we got Pipe, I believe we had 2, maybe 3 as well. Pipe had the actual Pipe, and then I think we had training grounds, and then later on there were other things added like the TCV and then the modded map. So I believe we only had 1 or 2 at the beginning. So to have 3 maps straight off the bat that are completely different and completely different to each other is really good and it's really exciting. We have the vert ramp, we have the mega ramp, and then we have the Washington skate park as well. Now, the Washington skate park is the one I primarily play. It's a skate park, essentially. It's got ramps, ledges, rails, quarter pipes, banks, hips. You name it, it's pretty much got everything that a skate park would need to make it a skate park. Then you got the vert ramp, and that's essentially self-explanatory. It's a vert ramp. It's really cool. It's got a roll in, which is handy. And then you have 2 quarters either side. So, again, really cool. The last one is the mega ramp. It's essentially got a drop in to 2 different style of kickers, which lead into this big landing. It looks really cool. You can get loads of cool tricks there. That's where you kind of want to do your big tricks, like your 720 quad whips, your front flip tuck no handed, the bar spin, things like that. Things you wouldn't be able to do on like regular ramps, if you know what I mean. So, like I said, for this to have 3 maps straight off the bat on early access, really good. Really approve of that. Now, this next thing is something that I really, really wish Pipe had, and I can't keep doing that where I compare it to other things, but Scoot has some... Scoot is really good. I'm going to say that right now. Scoot has a lot of features that I'm really impressed with, and it's learned from others, not mistakes, but it's learned from others' feedback and reviews of what this game wants in its early access. And this is scooter customization, and it's a really good scooter customization as well. It's not just changing the colors on things, it's changing the colors, it's changing what it looks like in the sense of material, so you can have a kind of shiny glossy color, or you can have a matte finish to it. You can like go between the 2. It's really nice because you have this little slider that you can move up and down, so you can see that. You can also actually change what parts look like. They haven't got like official part sponsor, I don't believe. They may do, but they have different styles. Like you have different decks. Like there's an extra wide deck for those street riders. There's different kind of bars. Like I ride T-bars myself, like T-shaped bars. But there are different styles of bars. You can change the core of the wheels. You can change the outer wheels. You can change the brakes. You've got loads of options that you can change, and it's really exciting to see that in an early access extreme sports game that there's customizations already, and it's really good because there isn't really much that I would change about that. It's nice as well because you can save your current build. So as soon as you're, if you were to remake your scooter in the game, you could then save it. So next time you load up the game, you can load up that scooter as well. The thing is about the customization as well, it's not just adding a customization option to the game. It's given the players a bit more of a personal feel to the game. It doesn't just mean that you're playing with 3 colors of a frame, for example, like in Pipe when you load it up. You can really make it your own personalized scooter. You can, like, there's so many different customization options that no one's really going to have the same setup, if you know what I mean. And it's really cool to see that, especially, like I said, in an early access game. Moving on to tricks, there aren't too many, which is nice because it means that he's focusing on a lot more than just tricks. He's not just kind of compiling tricks into the game and them not working properly, if you know what I mean. So, you go through the tricks that we have. We have bar spins, tail whips, switch tail whips, tuck no-handers, Supermans, toboggans, multi-whips, grinds, manuals, and rotations and flips, and tables. Now, there aren't too many tricks in the game, which I'm really not too fussed about because we have the main ones that we need. We've got the bar spins, we've got the tail whips, we've got the tuck no-handers, and we've got grind. Now, grinds are a bit of a weird one because they're not a lock-in system. It's not like Pipe or BMX game or anything like that where you can kind of lock into it. It's more of a... because this is a physics-based game, so you're kind of having that flexibility where you tweak and all that. So you can get into like a feeble by accident, or you can do a deck slide. And there are loads of grinds that I've done purely by accident, but they look cool. And it's just taking that kind of time to adjust and get used to the game, where you can get used to the grinds. So it's exciting because, like I said, I've done this kind of, I think it was like a 50-50 store and then a 360 over the ledge into the bank or to the bowl or whatever. It looks really cool. So like I said, it's just adjusting to the game. Manuals as well. Manuals are a bit of a weird one because you kind of have to pull the right stick down and then pull the left one down with it, and then you can let go of the right or let go of the left or something, but it's not as easy as I'd like it to be. So we'll get to that later, but it's not as easy as I'd like it to be, but manuals are in the game. Rotations. Now, this is a funny one. Like I said, this is a physics-based game, so it's trying to be a little more free with the kind of spins and the flips that you do. But with that in mind, trying to do airs is a very difficult thing. So riding the vert ramp is something I don't ride too often because I can't get airs as clean as I would like them to. You can do air tricks, you can do like back and forths and like a whole line, but it's very easy to mess up the kind of trick. Flares as well, because you can do flips and rotations during a flare. It looks kind of cool, but you can land flat so easily. So you can do flares and 360s, 540s, backflips and front flips and all that, but they are a little sketchy at the minute. So that might be something that needs to be improved in the future, but we'll get to that bit later on. How the tricks work. So it's very similar to how Pipe and Scoot work as well. You use the kind of triggers and the sticks to push in the direction of the controls, I suppose. So I think it's R1 and then push the right stick to the right, and that's a bar spin. And then do the same but with the R2 trigger and you push to the right, and that's a tail whip. R2 and push to the left, and that's a switch tail whip. So you don't use the other trigger for the other tail whip like you do on Pipe. But by pushing the left trigger and pushing up, you can do a Superman. So like it's all in the controls option on the menu. So it's really exciting to see that he is trying to differentiate the difference between Scoot and Pipe. So it's not a complicated system, but at least they're not trying to make the whole new system like they did with Skater XL and BMX the game. Now, like I said, this is a review, so I'm going to be listing some improvements, and that doesn't mean I hate the game, that doesn't mean it at all, but it is early access, so this is the perfect time to kind of give my feedback and improvements that I think should be added to the game in the future. I may be wrong, he may be going for a completely different path than I'm talking about, but these are some of the improvements I would like to see in the game in the future, potentially. Maybe how the manuals work. I like the manuals. They're pretty good. Once you're in it, you're pretty much in it. You're stuck in it until you do a trick out. But I do think getting into it a bit easier would be nicer. So I hate doing this, but comparing it to Pipe's manual system works really well. You can like move in and out of it very easily without hesitation. But like I said, I can do manuals in the game. I've got a few clips of me doing it, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing. So maybe we can look into improving manuals in the future. Like I said before, this is a physics-based game, so the airs are a bit all over the place. So I would like maybe a bit more control on the airs and the spins. 540s seems to be like the kind of limit when you're coming out of a quarter, out of a bank. You don't do 720s too often. You can do them on the mega ramp, but you can't really do them in the Washington part, for example. So maybe a bit more control on spins and airs, because I would like to be able to do a nice kind of flow run with air tricks. I'd love to be able to do like a triple whip air, then come back around, do a flare bar, that kind of thing. So more control in airs, please. Last one, I know this is kind of what he's going for in the game, but a lock-in method for the grinds. So again, I hate doing this. Pipe, perfect one, because you can do feebles, smiths, luckies, all of that really easily. But I say really easily. At the beginning, it wasn't easy, but the more you play it, the better it gets. But a lock-in method would be quite interesting, because I would like to be able to do like a secured feeble and then do like a heel whip out or something like that. So but that's really it for the improvements. I don't think there's anything else that I'd improve on as such. There are hopes for the future, but that's this next section. Now, my hopes for the future, these aren't improvement. These are just things I think would benefit the game a lot. I think a lot of the people who play the game or will be playing the game in the future will play it more or enjoy it more if they have these features involved. Not guaranteed, but these are just things I think would help improve the game. Or these are things I hope for the game in the future. More tricks. And I know this is a given, because I can guarantee he's going to add more tricks in the future. I keep saying he. I don't know if it's a guy making this. I apologize. I should say they. But I think more tricks would be a cool thing. So bride flips, finger whips, buttercups, things like that. Just I can see more tricks coming in the future, and that's kind of a given, I suppose. So looking forward to those tricks. Player customization. So he done scooter customization, and it looks really good. I think a player customization would be awesome as well. A boy-girl thing, just to be a bit more inclusive. Hats, shirts, helmets, shoes, things like that. I can already see you've got sponsors within the game already, so maybe more clothing brands in the future would be really cool as well. So yeah, fingers crossed that is something that comes in the future too. Everyone's going to be asking this. Multiplayer. I would love to see it. I know it's all, like I said, very, very, very early development. This is the first time we've actually seen this on Steam, so it's definitely not coming anytime soon. But I would love to see multiplayer. I know for a fact that me and my friends would love to play a game of Scoot, or just see some clips where we can do things together. I don't know. I want to play Scoot. I want to play Scoot with my friends online. That's what I'm trying to say. Speaking of doing things like that, I would also like to see a replay editor. I think that would be cool, because you can get a sick clip and then be like, oh shit, I should have recorded that. But a replay editor would be really cool. I don't know how difficult that will be to do, but that's on my list of hopes for the future. Next one, and everyone's been asking us, I've already gotten comments on TikTok. I've already got comments on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram asking, is this coming to console? I don't know. So that's something I would like to see. Whether it would just be a PS4 and Xbox One version, not necessarily a newer gen version. But if you can get it on the new gen consoles, great. That just means a bigger audience as well. I don't know, console version would be great. I'm going to be playing on PC, but it'll be nice for other people who don't have PC to play on console too. I know this is a given, but I'm just looking forward to it being introduced. More maps. I like the 3 maps as it is, but as the game physics get developed more, there'll be more maps released, because it would be cool to ride different styles of park as well, like a street-based map where it's just kind of rails, ledges, an actual outside street, city, plaza kind of thing. That would be really cool. But yeah, that's it for my hopes of the future. Now to summarize, would I recommend this game? Yes. I think this is a really cool game. I think it has a lot of potential. It is really well developed. Big shout out to the person making this game, or the people making this game. I think this is awesome. I really recommend it. It's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of things you can do in it already. I've only played it for a handful of hours, and maybe like 3 or 4 hours, but I was able to compile this list of things, reviewing reviewing the game. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be making some videos on it in the future. But yeah, if you want to buy it yourself, I'll put a link in the description to the Steam store where you can buy it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching my review and my video. If you do want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy and made it to the end. We did just hit 600 subscribers over on the second channel. I upload shorts over there, so if you want to see shorter content, that's where you'll see them. Thanks guys, bye!